So, but now I'm pretty sure everybody's heard the big news, and in case you haven't, I guess I'll break it right here. Naruto Blazing is officially coming to a close in the next couple of weeks. I don't remember what the exact date was, but I retweeted it last night, this past week. And in case you have no idea what that means, on my phone screen, I have one of my favorite gacha games of all time, Hunter x Hunter Battle All-Stars. And when that happens is when I click on it, you're going to notice that you cannot access it anymore. This is the ultimate fate of every single gacha game at some point. I feel like this is important for us to have this discussion, and to kind of help me talk about this, I brought the gacha game guru, none other than Dato Doya himself, and I figured we'll just kind of hop in and talk about it. Now, you're probably wondering, Dato, when the hell does Dato play gacha games? Well, the reason why I decided to bring him here is because Dato actually, you play every gacha game like actively. You're weird, right?
I play I try to dabble in all the gacha games that interest me on and off. I'm not super hardcore about it, but I do play a decent bit of them.
Which is why I wanted to have you on here. I mean, obviously, I could bring someone on here like, you know, D-Free, Goresh, Nano, or somebody. I decided to bring Dato to give you the perspective of, like, the everyday player. He doesn't necessarily make content on it, even though he's officially become a Legends YouTuber the other day, by officially ending all the Dragon Ball FighterZ content and replacing it with Legends content. He just happened to forgot to upload Legends content ever since after that.
Yeah, and that was a bold choice by me. I'm glad I went through with it, though.
Yeah. Okay, so let's just talk about this real fast. So when I say that this is the ultimate fate of every single gacha game, to the people out here who think, you know, you're spending all this time, and some of you even spending money, that you're safe with these games, that's incorrect. The thing is inevitably every single one of these games is going to come to a close. And when that happens, as I just showed you, Hunter x Hunter Battle All-Stars, and my other example is Pokemon Duel, once these games shut down, they're gone for good. It actually really sucks to see a game like Naruto Blazing end, but like, I guess it is what it is. It just happens, you know, and I'm not really sure if this game was a monetary decision or if they just ran out of content. And to kind of explain what that means is it's not all about profits at the end of the day. Obviously, if you get to the point where a gacha game isn't making enough money, you got to pull the plug and cut the lights. But the thing is sometimes it does come down to content. For example, Battle All-Stars, one of the reasons why they cut the game wasn't necessarily because the profits fell too low. It was actually because they literally ran out of content. You know, the manga went on an indefinite hiatus, and literally if you played the game, you saw that they were just releasing MetaWimps and Phantom Troop characters every, like, you know, couple weeks. That's all it was, just rinse and repeat. While I was excited to get a MetaWimp every single, you know, couple days, it also got to the point where I'm like, all right, where are they going with this? So I think that's kind of happening with Blazing as well. And normally what these companies do is they just go to the next game, which I believe, what's the game out there right now? Is it Naruto Naboruto Tribes? Is that what it is?
Yeah, Tribes is the newest mobile game.
And that's the one where you've been spending thousands of dollars on every single day, right?
No, I don't really spend too much money on that game, because that game also has its issues. But yeah, that is the newest game out there.
Yeah. So I guess the question that you know, we want to talk about in this video is what does Naruto Blazing shutting down means for Dokkan and Legends and whatever game you're playing right now? The quick answer is nothing. Because the thing is the difference between Blazing and Dokkan and Legends is there's still a lot of content being planned out for both of these games. Honestly, I'm kind of shocked that Dokkan is still going, only due to the fact that gacha games, they don't really tend to last that long. I think one of the longest lasting gacha games is it Exvius? Brave Exvius, I want to say. FGO has been going off a long time, and Dokkan is about to enter the 6th year. But the thing is as long as they have refreshing ideas to put into these games, they can keep the content going. And the other big advantage that they have here is the fact that Mangi or Dragon Ball Super, and inevitably if the anime comes back, as long as they have some source to pull from, they can keep putting out content. Because if you think about it, Dokkan still hasn't touched on the Moro arc stuff. We still haven't gotten, you know, more stuff from the recent times, you know. Legends, yeah, what?
No, I was gonna say, yeah, we still have a lot of stuff to get to Dragon Ball. Like, there's the manga stuff. There's, you know, they might make another movie or continue the anime stuff like that. Yeah. But in Blazing's case, the super interesting thing about Blazing is that they actually didn't add any Boruto things at all. Like, they refused to for some reason.
And from what I saw is, I think they just didn't have the license for it, which is kind of weird. Look, here's the thing. I know when it comes down to Naruto, it's really easy to look at Naruto and Boruto and think it's the same thing. It's not. It's like Dragon Ball Z is there, and then there's Dragon Ball Super. Even though it's under the same umbrella, it's not the same series. And I think the Boruto license did probably go to Tribes, which is why, you know, they were focusing on that game as opposed to, you know, putting content into Blazing. But the other really interesting thing is people on Twitter were telling me that Blazing didn't even get into all the Shippuden stuff. And from what I saw on the outside in, and I might be kind of wrong, but I swear almost every single time I saw a new release for Blazing, it was always a new Sasuke and the Naruto Sasuke and Naruto Sasuke. That's all they were doing. I'm like, are they gonna do anything else?
Yeah, they just bounce back and forth for like ever.
Yeah, and I mean, I get it. Certain characters are more hyped. You know, recently in Dokkan they introduced Bojack, and I didn't even summon on it because I don't really care about Bojack. You drop a new fusion, even if it's like the 20th time seeing Gogeta or Vegeta roll back around, I am going to summon for it. Actually, Dado, you're not talking about this the other day. What was it? Was it when Dokkan released the last Vegito? We were both talking about how like people were like pretending that they weren't excited about that, but it's like, bro, it's a Vegito. I don't care if this is like the 40th Vegito. Vegito's cool.
Yeah, some characters are just always going to, they're like the go-to anniversary. Like, oh, we need something that people will spend money on. Drop the Gogeta, drop the Vegito. And then people are always going to buy that.
Yeah, one thing I will give Dokkan a lot of credit for is they have been trying to do a lot of new things over the course of pretty much the last 6 years of the game existing. One, for example, was Battlefield 1.0. Then it turned into Battlefield 2.0. They recently released the chain battle stuff. And while I know a lot of people critique that those modes aren't really that fun, they are trying different things. And as long as Dokkan is evolving by trying to do something different, I feel like they have, they're adding extra years into the timeline of the game. I feel like when we get to the point where people realize that Dokkan, there's really no reason to play it anymore, that's when the game's gonna start being in trouble. And I know the last couple of banners have been hitting top grossing, but that doesn't necessarily mean that the game is declining. It just means that, one, other games have been blowing up. Because the other thing is what people don't understand is, in the gacha market, there's a lot of gachas out there, especially in Japan. That's why it's so hard to hit top grossing. Now, when Dokkan releases something crazy like in you Gogeta Vegeta, guess what happens? Top grossing! Except for I think Gogeta Super Saiyan 4 didn't do that. But again, a lot of stuff was happening at the same time. Actually, the reason why I wanted to bring Dado into this is also his view on both of the games. Because he does play both Dokkan and Legends. And it's like, you kind of view both of those games differently for what they give you.
Yeah, I'm a super casual player in both, but they both, honestly, I'd say I prefer Legends, but yeah, I do go back and forth. It's just a matter of like what they do. They both of them do so many different things better than each other.
Yeah, so it's like with Dokkan, it's like you pull your unit and it's like, all right, see you next banner.
That's Dokkan's biggest strength, is the summoning is really good compared to Legends. But after you get the units, like, whoo, can't believe I pulled him. All right, I guess I'll see you next time. it really does feel like that for me a lot of the time.
And that's not to say that, Legends is 100% superior, because Legends has its own problems. Legends is all based around PvP. But if you hop into the matches, and it happens quite often where you get into laggy matches, you're not having a good time at all.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest differences like there is like, I think the best example is like, yeah, the summoning is better in Dokkan, for example. And Legends has PvP and stuff to do. But then just to, give credit to Dokkan, like Legends Zenkai, I still hate Zenkai.
Nobody likes Zenkai. It's just so tedious.
But in Dokkan, the EZA or whatever it's called, that's super easy to do and gives a lot of stones. I do that every time it comes out, I think.
Yeah. See, something I also want to talk about is, the scary word for Dokkan, PvP, or I guess 3 letters. A lot of people think PvP would be ultimately the downfall of the game, and while I don't necessarily disagree, I also don't 100% agree, only because we don't know how PvP would look if that game was ever to release it. I think a true form of multiplayer would greatly extend the lifespan of Dokkan, but it has to be done right. Because another thing I saw with Blazing is people attributed its downfall because they released PvP that worked differently from how the PvE worked. I think the way it worked is when a character dropped that was PvP based, the PvE version wasn't anywhere as good. So therefore, there was a more of a focus on multiplayer. And while some people think that that Dokkan, if it ever got PvP, would be a downfall, I think it just really comes down to how you play it. Because the thing is, put it this way. If you can make PvP fun where you're not really, I guess, too focused too much on, like, I guess, wailing out, it can be done. I mean, even with Legends, something that people don't realize is people always talk about stars this, stars that. People don't realize that if you do friend battles or if you go into casual mode, it's all maxed out. Like, you could do something like that with Dokkan as well. It shouldn't be the main core of the game, because the main core of Dokkan has always been PvE. So if they do PvP that works on top of a little thing that basically allows people to play with their friends, I think it could be, if done right, it could work really, really well. Because again, the main focus of Legends is PvP. In my opinion, the PvE in Legends is awful.
It is.
And yeah, and the PvP or the PvE in Dokkan is fun because it's really not much to it. You can put on anime, you can put on whatever, you can put on a Dada Doya video while playing, And it's just like, it's just very chill, if that makes sense. But like, to me, my attention span just kind of kicks in at some point where I'm like, all right, I need to actually play a game.
Yeah, no, I think Legends gets a lot of credit in that regard, because people are always like, a PvP wouldn't work in Dokkan, it wouldn't be fun. But I feel like you got to try out new modes like that. Like, Legends put in co-op, and, you know, it has its troubles, but it's still there. It's still interesting. It's still another mode.
And they're improving it.
Yeah, they're improving it. It's building on stuff. They use the raid battles for that now, like the Jiren stuff that recently came out. You get medals for that. It's just more stuff to do, and they keep... I think Legends is experimenting way more. Like the PvP, they added that. The max raid battle. Like, just recently, me and Nano were playing PvP on Legends, and it wasn't like, all right, let's do this thing because maybe it'll be fun. It was like, no, I kind of want to play Legends right now. Let's play Legends. Let's use these units. But see, that's another reason to use the units.
That's why I've always been a bigger fan of PvP, because it does give you that extra sense of, I guess, playing. Because, like, to me, any game that's single player based, where, you know, you can only do so many things, you'll hit that glass ceiling, or eventually you get bored of it. And like with Dokkan, the way Dokkan to me has been, it's been more of a collection simulator over the course of the past like 2 years now, really 3 years, where I just kind of want to get the new unit, max it out, and be done with it, and then wait for the next banner. Whereas with Legends, I'm just actively playing it. But again, that is also tied to if you're having a good time. If Legends is just, if you're getting unlucky, especially like me a couple of months ago, where I just kept getting laggy match after laggy match after laggy match, I wasn't having a good time, and I just kind of, you know, dropped the game. Because the way I didn't drop the game, I just stopped playing as much. The way I play games is when I come across something I don't like, I just go play something else. But like, ultimately, the whole point of this, you know, debate, this talking topic, is the fact that both of these games aren't anywhere near their end cycles, if that makes sense. You know, Dokkan's getting ready to introduce a brand new meta. You know, a couple of years ago, I was wondering where they were going to go after the 120% meta, and then they introduced categories, they introduced transformation units, infusion units, they introduced exchange units, and now they're getting ready to introduce the Revive from Zero units from the looks of it. And as long as they're doing something new, and have new form of content being pumped in on top of that, the manga and the anime potentially come back are still going on. There's content that's gonna be flowing into both of these games. And the thing about Legends is people will like meme that Legends is like dying and stuff like that. It's like, bro, Legends just started. Like, Legends at least has another like 3 or 4 years, because they're probably just, they can literally just do exactly what Dokkan did as far as releases, and it'll thrive, it'll work.
I was talking about this earlier because I tweeted out the Naruto Blazing was disconnecting. I was like, damn. And then in a follow-up to that, I feel like it does kind of remind you. I didn't say like Dokkan was dying, but it does kind of remind you of Dokkan's mortality. Especially because I feel like, at least for me, it's been in a downward trend. Not like this is going to die, but it's like, okay, the hype has kind of worn off a little from what they were doing, and now we're kind of in a slow period. I haven't really played the game too much. But Legends, it's like, it's new, it's still trying new things. UI Goku could come out, and that's, you know, it's the first time UI Goku's in the game. That's cool. And we're not even at the end of the year, so who knows what they could do next. I feel like what's around the corner feels more exciting for Legends than it does for Dokkan right now. But that's not saying that Dokkan couldn't do that right again, like you said, with the new mechanic.
Because we don't know what else they're working on. But the main point I also point out is when these games do inevitably shut down, this is what happens. Like, you know, I saw some people tweet me and saying, wouldn't you be angry if this happens to Dokkan Legends? I'm like, well, what can you do? You know, like, they don't last forever. Even like console games, at some point, they shut down. You know, some games that have, you know, peer-to-peer connections where you can still play, yeah, those still exist. But inevitably, every single game shuts down at some point. And yeah, I spent a lot of money on Legends and Dokkan. You know what? I spent a lot of money on Hunter Battle All-Stars, and this is all I have to show for it. They don't even let you see a box anymore.
Yeah, that was, Blazing did let you see the units you got to keep, which was kind of nice, I guess, to look back on the memories.
Wait, they do still give you access?
Yeah, after the game shuts down, you'll still be able to open your the menu screen and click the encyclopedia that shows you which characters you have.
What? At least that's kind of nice.
Yeah, it's kind of like you get to keep the memories at least.
You know, my memories is just the friends I made along this journey and the videos I made, I guess.
Yeah, your Battle All-Star memories are gone, but what can you do?
Look at this. This is depressing. This is my favorite gacha game that's ever existed, and I poured a lot of money into this game. I feel like there was one point where I was putting more money into Battle All-Stars than I was Dokkan, and this is like in the early days of Dokkan where, like, you know, it was super hot to like make videos around it. So that tells you something. Am I mad that Battle All-Stars shut down, as well as Pokemon Duel, which is another game that I played? I mean, yeah, but like, I also just learned to just, you know, move on and play other games. And again, when this inevitably happens with Dokkan Legends, whether it be next year, in 2 years, in 10 years, or 100 years, you know, it's just something to kind of think about it. And yeah, I spent a lot of money, but like, I also got my time out of it. I had my fun with it. You know, I made the content, and I'm just kind of satisfied with that, if that makes sense. Yeah, but everybody else,
everybody else does get pretty. It is good to remember. Like, I saw a lot of comments. I think under your tweet specifically, like people like, wait, so all the money people spent in that game was for nothing? And to be honest, yeah. If you didn't enjoy the time you had with it, then yeah, it kind of is. Like, it's going to go away at some point.
You know when this also happened before with these guys right here? I mean, think about it. How many times have you, the viewer at home, got into like Pokemon cards, Yu-Gi-Oh cards, just probably spent a ton of money, whether it was your money or, you know, your parents bought them for you, and then at some point you just took these cards and just kind of threw them to the side and never looked back at them. It's kind of the same thing. I mean, obviously with physical cards, you keep the cards afterwards, and if you take care of them, these could be worth something. But in a digital game, it's like, it just kind of disappears one day, and yeah.
Sometimes it just gets brushed aside.
Yeah. Comment section below, let me know. This is gonna be kind of fun. Let's say theoretically we get the news tomorrow that Dokkan Legends shuts down. What is your initial reaction? Let me know down below. Like, what would you do? You know, I kind of want to see what people would say. And again, it's kind of hard to, like, you know, put this theory really out there unless like you're actually going through it. Obviously, the people at home who are watching, who play Naruto Blazing, you're experiencing that pain and grief right now. But like, let me know your thoughts down below, like how you feel about, one, if you are affected by the Naruto shutdown, and two, if this happens with Dokkan Legends, what you would do. The other thing I was gonna point out is what these companies usually do is they also tend to move on to the next game. Obviously, Tribes is gonna be probably the bigger focus now, and then maybe when if Tribes falls apart, they'll release a new game. That's usually what they do, is they rinse and repeat. I mean, the thing that people might not know, after Battle All-Stars, we've gotten like 3 Hunter x Hunter gacha games, and none of them were good. And guess what? They all shut down.
I was gonna say, like, Tribes is decent, but it's not. I think Blazing was the better game, so it's going to be interesting watching them move on, because Naruto is in a game drought right now. Like,
yeah,
even if you aren't a Blazing fan, which I played Blazing sometimes, but the shutdown still hurt for me because I was like, man, that was a Naruto game. We don't have a lot of those.
The other thing is the Naruto series obviously has been over for the longest, and with them not getting like you need content to keep these games going. The other thing I want to talk about is the sense of wanting to see stuff fail. I've been seeing this pretty much for as long as I existed. For some reason, people get this weird, I don't know, connection that they want to see stuff fail. There's people out there that literally want to see Dokkan shut down. They want to see Legends shut down. There's people dancing right now that Blazing is shutting down, and I never understand that mentality either. Because at the end of the day, those people are not the ones that, you know, play the games, and for some reason they're angry that people exist that do play the game. So it's like, I personally don't want to see any game shut down. I don't want to see anything fail, especially if there's something that people are connected to, or something that brings people joy. And it just also kind of, it sucks to see people like feed into that negative energy and just, you know, they spread it out more. But again, it is what it is. I guess we'll just see what happens over the course of the future. But as far as the short term, again, it means nothing for Dokkan Legends right now, but it is something to think about, that one day we are going to get that tweet that says, thank you for playing. We'll see you guys next time.
Yeah, that is going to sting for a lot of people when that happens.
Yeah, but good news is, if they're letting you keep the accounts, at least you get that.
At least you have the memory. Hopefully. They could. That's the thing, is like, that was a nice gesture by Blazing, and that was just like the bare, like, it could just be like, thank you, and then nothing. It's really scary when you think about it. So if you're not, it kind of makes you rethink, like, if you're not enjoying the moment, and you're just doing it because, I don't know, you feel like it's an impulse, it might be time to like rethink it, because it could go away.
For all you know, they'll shut down Dokkan Legends one day and just not even give us that.
That is also another possibility.
You're just gonna get that message from me on Twitter. I am getting folded.
just, hey, where'd Dokkan go on my phone? And then just that's it.
Yeah. Let me know your thoughts down below. Again, if you have any questions regarding stuff, you know, feel free to talk amongst yourself. You can also tweet both of us. Again, Dado is the guru of gacha games. He knows everything. He literally spends $10,000 a day on both of these games. I'm like, I already know how he gets his money from.
I've literally never not placed top 1 in a gacha game.
Let us know any questions you have, and we'll keep the fun going. But again, if you play Blazing, sorry to hear that. Hopefully, you know, if they make another game, you know, you can get into that and, you know, and then kind of, I guess, recover. But again, keep in mind, these games aren't forever, and one day we all are going to get that message for our favorite games and see that they're shutting down. And when that day happens, I guess we'll see what else is in the horizon. That's all we can see.
Yeah, it's just gonna be on to the next one.
Thank you guys for watching. Let us know down below, and then we'll see how the community feels about all this stuff.